Now at 6, the House is set to vote on a temporary funding bill today that could end the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. We'll take a closer look at the bill and why some Oregon lawmakers are still pushing back on it. Plus,
these are the American citizens supporting us when Congress should be supporting us.
People are stepping up, donating food to support TSA agents, PDX, who've been working without pay during the government shutdown.
And a warning for parents this morning. The organic baby formula brand ByHeart is recalling its products nationwide over concerns of botulism. What you need to know coming up as your news at Sunrise starts right now. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Wednesday. I'm China Green.
And I'm Tim Gordon in for Drew Carney this morning. A hump day. We're there. It's Wednesday.
Hump day, yeah.
What do you got for hump day, Rod?
Well, we do have a fog map this morning. Visibility is reported a half a mile down in Salem. I'll show you the live camera in a moment. We've got dense fog down into Eugene this morning. And a lot of times we get fog, what's called radiational cooling. It's clear and temperatures just drop. But this is fog that's being developed as warmer air is trying to move up north through the valley, and it's colliding with cooler air in place, and you get the fog. Now, up here in Portland, we do have east winds coming out of the gorge to about 15 miles per hour, and we are having good visibility but cloudy skies. There's the fog over the state capitol. If anything, that view is getting a little less desirable, if you will, in terms of visibility. But you can see fine coming into Portland, and we're at 48 degrees. So bus stop weather today, there could be a sprinkle, but generally just a gray day. Temperatures 48 out the door, 55 at noon. And we could, even with the cloud cover up top, get up to around 60 degrees today. Here's Chris.
All right, balmy. All right, let's get you out the door again to that point that Rod made about the fog. This is down in Lynn County near Oregon High, excuse me, not Lynn, but Lane County, where there is a dense fog advisory in the Eugene area. So the fog definitely looks somewhat thick down there. Same story in Lynn County, south of Albany. This is near Highway 228, so be on the lookout for that. Close to the metro area, not a lot going on just yet. We had an earlier report of a fender bender on the Glen Jackson bridges, but as we look southward right now from SR 14, you can see the traffic is still zipping right along on that side of town, and the drive times are still in check. We're operating at a speed limit clip this morning on the freeways. Guys, back to you.
Chris, thanks. Well, a government shutdown that's stretched on well over a month now could end soon. On Monday, the Senate passed a bill which would end that shutdown.
And now the House will vote on it, but the Oregon and Washington senators, they voted no. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us live in Portland. So Thomas, what do conservative leaders have to say about the bill?
Well, Tim and China, we spoke to Cliff Bentz, the only congressman in Oregon who's a Republican. He says the big focus yesterday was actually just getting lawmakers back to D.C. amid flight cancellations and delays. He says today the House of Representatives expects to vote on this legislation this afternoon. Though Bentz says it's unclear right now if all House lawmakers will make it back in time. Here's what else he had to say about the shutdown.
Well, it'd be difficult not to blame the Democrats. We here in the House passed the continuing resolution before the end of the fiscal year, and so the Democrats certainly had every chance to pass it in the Senate, and they chose not to. So shutting down the government is squarely on the Democrats.
For weeks, many Democrats have railed against the bill because of cuts to health care subsidies, which could increase premiums. On social media, Oregon Senator Ron Wyden wrote, quote, "My red line has always been lowering health costs for Americans. Donald Trump and Republicans don't want an agreement that meets that bar. I'm a no." Senator Jeff Merkley agreed in a Monday post. He said the vote tonight to reopen the government with no deal on health care is a brutal blow to all those who have stood together to save affordable health care for more than 20 million Americans. I will vote no tonight with every fiber of my being. Still, it does appear like this bill is on track to pass. Bentz says he hopes that the government reopens this afternoon. Now, guys, of course, with something like this, there's never any guarantee. Guys.
Thomas Schultz reporting live for us this morning. Thank you, Thomas. And as the shutdown continues, the FAA says that there is a shortage of air traffic controllers, but it's also worth noting that TSA officers are also still working without pay.
Now, those working in the industry say it's a struggle for agents as they help passengers whose flights are not canceled get through the gates. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson is at PDX with the very latest on what they're experiencing and how we can all help. Corey?
Good morning, Tim, China. Yeah, travelers here at PDX are working to support TSA agents who are still working through donations like this one. These donation bins are set up near the gates, and they're in an effort to support PDX federal workers. You can donate perishable items. Many people have donated bath tissue. We've also got some food here this morning that people have put in the bin. This bin increasing as we've been here over just the last hour. Now, we talked with Rebecca Wolf, a TSA agent union president, and she says when agents call out sick, it's often because they can't afford childcare or gas money. Now, Wolf tells KGW many are looking for side jobs to afford working as an agent as the shutdown continues. And what TSA agents appreciate the most right now, simply patience and gratitude.
Morale is the lowest I've ever seen it in my 23 years. They're being asked or forced to work overtime in some situations, and they're still not getting paid. It causes more stress and chaos on top of chaos.
Now, Wolf, who we just heard from, says that some TSA agents who have called out have also been threatened with AWOL, absent without leave, and that simply means that they could face discipline or even job loss once the government shutdown officially ends. Tim, China.
All right, we wish those workers well for sure. Corey, thanks. In the meantime, SeaTac has also opened up its own food pantry to help federal workers. A spokesperson for the airport in Seattle says over the past few weeks, non-perishable food, toiletries, and baby supplies have been pouring in. That's on top of hot meals and airport restaurant discounts, all provided to air traffic controllers, Customs and Border Protection officers, and TSA agents. The food pantry at SeaTac will keep running until the government shutdown ends or federal workers begin receiving paychecks again.
And this morning, SNAP benefits remain in a strange sort of limbo. It comes after the Supreme Court extended an order through Thursday that blocks the government from having to pay out full November benefits. It came with no explanation on the court's thinking, but in theory here, it could give Congress enough time to reopen the government. Meanwhile, here locally, drivers lined up for more than 5 blocks in Northeast Portland yesterday and waited for nearly 2 hours to get a box from the Love Our City food pantry. Volunteers and staff filled food boxes with anything and everything healthy that they could get their hands on.
I feel kind of ashamed having to come up here and ask for food, but at the same time, I am so grateful because we get things up here that I can't afford to buy.
Oregon and Washington paid out November's SNAP benefits following a court ruling last week. Leaders have encouraged people to use their balances on their cards and have vowed to fight any federal effort to take the money back.
A lot of people have been wondering if the government reopens in the coming days, how long is it going to take for things to get back to normal? Well, the timeline for air travel returning to normal is a little uncertain, really. The FAA is still forcing flight cancellations due to air traffic controller shortages. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says he's not sure the staffing issues will go away immediately, but he says he'll rely on data to decide when the FAA can lift shutdown-related flight restrictions. For things like SNAP, officials say benefits could resume pretty promptly. And in the meantime, we also want to remind you, if you are looking for help or know someone who is, we have a list of local organizations that have stepped up to donate, to fundraise, and to give out free meals. If you text the word SNAP to 503-226-5088, we're going to text you back with a link that is that list on our website.
We have a health alert for you this morning. ByHeart, which makes organic baby formula, is recalling all of its products nationwide. At least 84 infants across the country have been hospitalized with botulism since August 1st. Of those 84 infants, 15 consumed ByHeart formula. The FDA says that cases have been reported in multiple states, including Oregon and Washington. The recall affects ByHeart's whole nutrition infant formula in both cans and anywhere packs, which are small sealed pouches. The FDA says that parents and caregivers should immediately stop using any ByHeart infant formula products and closely monitor children who have recently consumed it. Botulism can take weeks to develop. Experts warn that botulism can potentially cause paralysis in kids under 1 year old. Symptoms include constipation, poor feeding, loss, head control, and difficulty swallowing.
Well, the Mega Millions jackpot's getting closer to $1 billion right now. It's sitting at $965 million after no one matched all 6 numbers in yesterday's drawing. The estimated cash payout of the jackpot, $445 million. The next drawing is on Friday.
So I think this is the one that I'll actually put some money down on.
Gets up that high?
Yes.
You bet.
They changed the rules. Remember, you got to pay $5 to play now.
Yeah.
Used to be a couple bucks. You can still get a Powerball ticket for $2, but Mega Millions, they changed the rules.
Wow.
It's like $5 for single line tickets. I can't afford to be rich because I don't want to spend $5. Here's a look at our satellite radar composite. You got the clouds rotating in to Oregon and Washington. So far, the radar is picking up water droplets at cloud level, but nothing reaching the ground. Even down in Newport, the report says, hey, we're just cloudy but dry. I think there could be some sprinkles today, but other than that, we expect this to be a dry Wednesday inland. Now, you folks at the beach could see a few showers just come along the coast at some point this afternoon. Good visibility along the Columbia River. We have east winds at 15 miles per hour in the vicinity. This is the view from the springs at the waterfront, looking out over the interstate bridge. 47 is the temperature. Reporting some breaks in the cloud cover currently. And there's the fog that is somewhat worsened over our state capital down in Salem. 50 degrees is the number there. You have thickening fog as you head south down I-5 into Eugene this morning. Temperatures 40s here in the North Valley and up into Southwest Washington. Battlegrounds at 46, but Happy Valley 51. And then you have this wave of where everybody's 50 or better. And again, this is a surge of some warmer air trying to push north up into the valley. It's another mild day for November without question. Cloudiness thinning in central and eastern Oregon at times, where temperatures are expected to be around 60 in many spots. Another 60-something degree day over in central Oregon, where it's been really, really pleasant lately. And then you've got the chance of some showers I mentioned this afternoon right along the coast, but inland areas just staying dry, maybe a sprinkle at some point. That's about it. We are expecting some showers tomorrow, but this is a weakening system. Only a few showers Friday, and quite frankly, your outdoor plans Friday have a decent chance of just seeing dry weather. And I think we get some shower activity over the weekend, but none of it looks like it amounts to a whole lot, and that is your update.
Thanks a lot, Rod.